mindfulness becomes a byproduct.
Wow, that is impressive.
The most important thing is follow your heart.
Fitness industry has evolved over the years tremendously. Especially after the COVID, we all are concerned about our health and fitness. In our today's podcast, we are going to engage in a conversation with Shweta Kulkarni and learn and explore the nitty-gritties of Zumba industry. We welcome your questions, comments, and suggestions. Hi, this is Aljira Pereira from Era Inspirations. If you like today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe.
Fitness has different definitions to each of us. For some, it is yoga, for some, it is swimming, and for some, it is gymnastics. Today, we are going to have a guest who is the powerhouse of the energy. She's a podcaster herself. She's a Zumba educationist. She's mindfulness coach. She's a traveler. She's a dancer. She's also a winner of Women Leader Award in Skill Development. And she is the woman who lives by the saying, never give up. I welcome Shweta Kulkarni on our podcast today at Fit, Learn Fit by Era Inspirations. How do you feel being here, Shweta?
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much, Algira. I am so happy to be here. And, you seeing all the, achievements I would call, because achievements are temporary, I would say, space of destination. But when you said them, I felt, I just felt good to myself. So thank you for repeating it to me. And I think who doesn't love to hear good things about them? And that's exactly the space I am right now. So thank you. I'm so happy and privileged to be here, Algira. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so happy to have you as well. I'm sure there is a lot of inspiration that we are going to receive from you today.
Let's see, how does it go? Yeah.
To begin with, I would like to understand, how did you get into Zumba industry?
Wonderful. That's like more than, I would say, 12 years as an instructor. But my journey starts, I think, 15 years back, Algira. So I'm a mom of a teenager right now. And when I delivered her, I am a foodie, even though I'm a fitness enthusiast. And during my pregnancy, I really put on a lot of weight. And also my pregnancy was not an easy job. I got a lot of bed rest, so no exercising. And eventually I did put on a lot of weight. And in 2006, when I delivered my beautiful girl, so I was almost 90 kgs, Algira. And I have always been into fitness. I think that was a body of 90 kgs. I didn't want to see myself into mirror. But as you know, my motto, I never give up on myself. I knew it, that I can come back to what I was before. And that, I would say, that quest of that, how can I, lose fat? How can I just be back that young Shweta or that, fit Shweta again? I started my journey. And in 2008, when I was in USA, I discovered Zumba. So since my childhood, I have always been inspired and I would say affiliated with a lot of dancing, and, I had a lot of dance stuff. And I am that kind of person that if we all go back to our school days, you remember we used to have those annual functions and where we used to dance. So I used to be in the front row participating in each and every dancing competition or dance show. So dance has always been my passion. And when I entered my Zumba class, first class in 2008, I was mesmerized. I was like, wow, I have to dance for 1 hour and they say I lose fat. This is the best place I could ever be. And that's where my journey started in 2008 as a participant in a Zumba class. Till 2011, Alira, what I did is I continuously attended 3 to 4 Zumba classes per week. And I lost 30 kgs in almost 2 to 3 years. And that was, and you know what? The moment I entered my Zumba class, Algira, I never thought that I want to lose fat. I just thought that I just want to dance my heart out. And that's how it was like, exercise in disguise. Truly speaking, it's just a dance, but it was an exercise in disguise. And that's how I fell in love with Zumba. And in 2011 back, when I came back to India, I thought, let me give it a try to become a Zumba instructor. And this also happened to me that I just went to Zumba.com because I had heard from my instructors in USA. I said, what is this Zumba.com? Let me go. And if you remember in 2011, the websites and everything was like a new trend. We used to know Orkut or Facebook was evolving. So Zumba.com, I was like, oh my God, this sounds good, Zumba.com. So I went there, I checked out, and then I click at the page. The first thing I saw is become an instructor. And I thought, let me take this leap of faith within myself and give it a try. So that's when my journey as a Zumba instructor started.
Wow, that is impressive, and it's such a flawless journey.
Yes,
Would you like to explain?
flawless.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it was a very hard journey. That's what I did make it sound flawless, but I'm sure so many women can relate, to the same concept of putting on during pregnancy. And we just want to come back to what we were before. But we do go through a milestone of life. We don't realize that. So, yeah.
Would you like to tell us what challenges did you go through while becoming a normal person to a Zumba instructor?
Yeah, I would say that I used to get restless because I was not getting the results very quickly. I'm sure this is so common in all the people.
Relatable.
But yeah, and it's so normal that within 1 month, you're like, oh, you know what? I did attend my 16 or 20 Zumba classes in 1 month. My body should show result. But your body takes time to react to any exercise or to respond to any exercise. And that made me restless that, hey, you know what? I'm not losing yet fat after 1 month, 2 months. This was in 2008, December. I had a breakdown again that I'm working hard so much. I'm still not getting the results. But something that made me go on and on and on was the flavor of a Zumba class. Because Zumba class itself, that 1 hour of dancing, which was my passion, just kept me on. So there was a time in New Year 2009, I said, I do write a journal. I did mention in my journal that, what the hell, I don't care what my fat loss is, but I love dancing so much. I am going to keep continuing going to a Zumba class. So yeah, that was the hardest part. But then once after 3 months, after 6 months, I started seeing the results. Once I started fitting into my old clothes, which is such a beautiful thing for all of us, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was just addition to my enthusiasm of continuing on this journey. Yeah.
Amazing. And this is very interesting, I must say.
Thank you.
For a new audience who are not familiar with Zumba as a dance class or Zumba as a fitness class, would you like to explain it in detail?
Sure, I would love to. That's my job. That's what I do every day. And it's like, even though you wake me up in the night, Shweta, you want to talk about Zumba for the next 10 minutes? Believe me, those 10 minutes will be very short for me to talk about Zumba. But I would like to gather, as smallest way as possible right now. So, Algira, Zumba is a fitness format for sure. People often understand that it's a dance class, but it is not. In fact, it's a space where dancers, non-dancers come and they evolve in whatever they are. If you're a dancer who comes to a Zumba class, he or she will become a better dancer. If you're not dancer and you want to come to a Zumba class, your journey as a dancer starts. So Zumba is typically, I would say, if you go to a standard Zumba class, it's a 1 hour class where we practice, I would say, interval training or intermittent training. To be, in the physical fitness science, this is like playing with your heart rate, pushing your heart rate up and down, up and down. If you could relate to this, like if you are a runner, sometimes people say, do a intermittent running. Walk for 1 minute, run for 2 minutes, walk for 1 minute, run for 2 minutes. But in this whole process, the runners will do the same process. Now in Zumba class, what we do is we play with the beats of the song. We take a high intensity song, which is high, which increases your heart rate. After that, we take a low intensity song, which says that, hey, maintain your heart rate. So this journey of 1 hour becomes very interesting. And I would say cherry on the top is, if you say that, Shweta, I want to learn salsa, I would say, hey, come to a Zumba class. If you say that, Shweta, I want to learn bachata, I would say, hey, come to a Zumba class. If you will say, I'm a bhangra lover, I would say, come to a Zumba class. You say, Shweta, I love all the thumkas and latkas and jhatkas of a Bollywood class, I would say, come to a Zumba class. Why? Because Zumba, in 1 hour, we take you around the world with international dance rhythm. So that's a cherry on the top. I would say that keeps us I would say that keeps the spice of the class on. And so no Zumba class is ever boring. Yeah.
Wow. I think I should enroll very soon in your class.
Guess what? I already have my online Zumba class. What are you waiting for?
I'll be the next one to join.
Please let me know whenever you want to join in. And the best part is every Zumba class, first Zumba classes, we all instructors give it like a free demo class. Because Algira, we don't want people to come and sign up for the 12 sessions and come and work out and squats. It's not like that. It's like Zumba becomes that I want to go. It's not that I need to go. It becomes that, hey, you know what? I want to go. And that's the reason that you need to enjoy it first. You need to connect with the class first. So that's the reason we invite. You're also invited for my class. Just let me know anytime you want to walk in.
Sure, certainly. How did Zumba benefit you, like mentally or physically, and how it can benefit us?
Of course, wonderful question. And true said, I love it. I mentioned that I really love your questions. So the reason I loved it, because you have so much worked on the details of, maybe you have gone through more about Zumba or more about me. And it does help you not only physically, but emotionally and mentally also. But the most important part as a physical, because if you're alive, everything happens in your life. If you're dead, nothing matters, right? So Zumba actually is very useful to you from your cardiovascular point of view. And something that a physical fitness science says, Algira, is if you have been running or maybe any cardio activities for 1 month, and then after 1 month you decide, hey, you know what, Shweta, I am going to take a break, no cardio for the next 1 month. And after this break, when you come back to the cardio again, you might feel like that, hey, I have to start from the level 0 again. And that's how your cardio is. So most of the fitness science elements or components might say is practice cardiovascular exercise at least 4 to 5 times per week. That's the science of Zumba, or that's the science of, cardiovascular fitness. And that's the reason that to keep the cardio interesting every day, imagine you have to go to a Zumba class. So Zumba helps your cardiovascular. Now, cardiovascular, when I say, it puts you, I would say it's like a precaution. So you might not land up into blood pressure diseases or any heart related diseases. So also people who have diabetes, they come to a Zumba class and they have got miraculous results. People who have, heart problems or, heart, I would say the blockage and all. People who say that, hey, I started coming to a Zumba class, at least twice a week Zumba class, that got interesting. The reason also is with cardio, the endorphins is released, which is a very important hormone for our mind and body. So I think physical fitness wise, cardiovascular is the highest important benefit of a Zumba class. Emotionally, I guess you're happy. I already talked about endorphins. Emotionally, you're there. So as also you know that I'm a mindfulness coach. To become a mindfulness coach after Zumba instructor was inspired by Zumba itself. Algira. What happened is when I teach a Zumba class, I used to wonder that why am I so happy in that 1 hour? The reason is in that 1 hour, you have to focus on your instructor. If I am teaching, I have to focus on my people. And if you as a participant come by, if you're focusing on that 1 hour, to me as an instructor, there are no different thoughts. You can't afford. You will never even think that, oh, you know what? I had a fight with my kid today. I had a fight with my husband today. Oh, my maid didn't come today. All those typical things when an Indian woman thinks. These thoughts are not even there in that 1 hour when you attend a Zumba class, because in a Zumba class, we keep on changing the steps according to the music change. So you have to be there if you want to make that Zumba class successful. So mindfulness becomes a byproduct of a Zumba class, that you become a mindful person. And the more mindful you are, less stress. There are, I would say, less problems in life. I wouldn't say less problems, but the intensity of the problems are better. Or sometimes you might say you enter the class thinking that, I have so many problems in my life. The moment you come back, you have the power that, hey, I can just grab, or maybe find solution to all the problems in my life. So that's how emotionally and mentally Zumba helps you.
Yes. So to summarize, I think it helps us to handle your problems better.
I would say that. Everyday problems. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank
Would
you.
you like to share any such kind of success story?
Yes. In fact, I was just thinking, that I have so many stories, but I think specifically these three stories stayed with me. I would just gather them very quickly. The
Yeah.
first one was a story of a 63-year-old woman. So she was like a homemaker. The kids right now, being abroad, staying somewhere. The husband was still, the husband is into business. So he was still busy. So this lady was getting bored at home because nothing to play around, no grandchildren because everybody is abroad. She started coming to a Zumba class and she started feeling more and more happy. That was the thing. But that was not only the byproduct. I think the highest benefit that she got out of a Zumba class is one day, I think after 6 months of attending Zumba class, Algira, she ran to me and she entered the class and she just hugged me tight. I was like, hey, Deepika, what's up? You're hugging me tight. And she said, Shweta, yesterday, since it's been 1 week that my grandkids, my family, my kids are also here for a vacation. And I was playing with the toddler of 3-year-old non-stop for 2 hours. I was running behind him. I was lifting him, putting him on the slide. He was sliding. And I realized I couldn't do this before because maybe I was not an active person. Or she was not realizing that what had happened is she had become more agile, Algira. The change of movements, I would say, if you're running and suddenly you want to look back, or any quick change of positions, that is called as agility. And she was getting more agile because there was a lot of blood circulation happening in her body during the Zumba class. So I think till now, it's been almost 7 years, and this lady still comes to right now I'm teaching online. So she comes to my online classes as well. So this was a top benefit. And next one is a very emotional benefit, I would say. I remember that she said that, Shweta, there was this one girl, a teenage, I would say, she was, I don't remember her age exactly, but 23, 25. So she said, and Shweta, I know I'm struggling hard to become pregnant and it was not working. She attended my class for 1 year and she came back, and then there was one day, 1 month, she didn't attend my classes. I got back to her like, hey, what's up? So she said, Shweta, guess what? I am pregnant. And I said, how did this magic happen? She said, of course, I'm taking treatment, but doctors said that my physical, I would say, fitness has got better. And I was like, kudos to that. So this was another hidden benefit from a client success story I heard. And there was one girl with a frozen shoulder. Frozen shoulder is a thing that either you use it too much, or sometimes the situation is like, the muscles around this shoulder becomes like they are not working much. So she used to attend my Zumba toning class. So Algira, the format is called as Zumba toning, that is Zumba with dumbbells. So we do all the joint actions in that. And she came back after 6 months and she said it doesn't exist anymore. She doesn't need a medication. So I think these three stories are very close to my heart. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, inspiring stories. I'm sure a lot of our audience is also able to connect with all that you have mentioned. And if there's anything, I would request all the audiences to comment, and we will try to address it as much as we can. To proceed further, for a person like me, I'm a very shy person. So if I'm a new person joining your Zumba instruction class, how would you help me to get rid of the shyness?
Okay. So if I may just ask you again, so you're talking about becoming a Zumba instructor, or you're just looking forward?
Just a participant. I've never danced, so I'm not a dancer.
Yeah. So of course, what I do is my job is into two profiles. One is I teach Zumba classes, and my second profile is that I teach Zumba instructors. So if you're talking about attending Zumba class, Algira, right now, the good news is you can start attending online classes. The good news is once you are at your home alone dancing, you know that nobody's watching you. In the first few sessions, you could also request your instructor that, can I keep my video off? Start getting into that comfort zone that I am okay. And once after 2 sessions, 3 sessions, believe me, this 1 hour of Zumba class would do miracles to you because you start trusting yourself. So your confidence starts boosting. And the more your confidence starts boosting, there will be a day, in fact, that you will put the video on by your own self. And once you do that, then you might, after 3 months, after 6 months, you might say, hey, you know what? I think I'm doing good because even Shweta is complimenting me. My instructor is complimenting me. So you might just go and search for Zumba classes around your area. You might just decide to walk into one of the classes someday. I wouldn't say it will happen in 3 months or 6 months, but you start taking that, I would say, a person attending Zumba class after some time comes into this space that he doesn't judge himself. And also he doesn't care that what people think about yourself. So somehow we start getting better and better into self-acceptance. Yeah.
Exactly. I really like that word, self-acceptance. So by learning Zumba, we will try to address our problems better, as well as we will try to accept ourselves the way we are. Like how you did, you said initially that you were 90 kg, and then
Yes.
your motto was to first enjoy the dancing, then losing the weight, right?
True.
So I really like that. I'm sure many of us are getting inspired already about your talks.
Thank you.
And I realized that there is this misconception, as you mentioned also, that Zumba is a dance format. So, what are the other misconceptions that you think there are for Zumba?
I would say two major misconceptions that people walk into me is, first is very funny. You're also going to laugh at that is, hey Shweta, if I leave Zumba class, am I going to become fat? And I'm going to say, knock, knock. You leave any fitness classes or exercise, you are going to get fat. Why? Because if your intake of 2000 calories per day is regularly on, and now you stop burning your 500 or 700 calories through your workout. So those, instead of having 1500 calories saved in your body, which is your necessary energy to give out, you are going to store 2000 calories. So leaving any fitness format you are going to put on. But is that the solution of life? No. A fit life doesn't matter. See, Algira, I believe that you don't have to keep a target that I want to have a fat loss. Forget about fat loss. I think most important is regularly exercising. It could be a walk. You also started saying by swimming or maybe walking, cycling, dancing, maybe, doing weight training. I think first, those things are important to us to make our body organs and blood circulation better. So I think let's start with there. Don't say that, hey, I need to work out because I want to lose fat. Hey, I want to work out. What if I don't work out, I'm going to be fat. Just say the way I eat food every day, the way I brush my teeth every day, let exercise of 1 hour be a part of my life every day. So that was one of the biggest misconception. And second is people say that, dancing for a long time, I might get knee issues or knee injuries. Again, that's a biggest myth. Why? Because people land up into the classes sometimes that who are not trained Zumba instructors. Today, the world, knows Zumba very well. People know Zumba is a beautiful format. It's a world-class format. So some of the people use the word illegally. So some people might land up in the classes of illegal Zumba instructors who are not having any science of Zumba. So the first important thing for everybody who wants to attend a Zumba classes, please check their name on zumba.com or please check their license. It's okay to ask your instructor that, hey, are you certified? Hey, are you a licensed instructor? And if they are licensed, I promise you will not land up into any knee injuries. And if you still do, which is a possibility, it is because that person is not using a right type of shoe, maybe not dancing on the right kind of floor, and maybe the movements are also not well. In Zumba, we dance on a flat feet. But people dance on the toes most of the time. Then you might, get into those injuries of knee and all, but not in this young age, maybe after 50s and 60s. So still Zumba is a safe version for everybody.
Since you mentioned that you have to check the license on Zumba.com, are there any other institutes, such institutes which give the license for Zumba instructors?
No, nothing in the world. The only license giving company is www.zumba.com. That is the only website which will give instructors their license to teach. Now, the good news is right now, if you are anywhere in the world, if I'm in a different country and city, doesn't matter. Online instructor trainings are also available. So it's like you cannot give a medicine to anybody if a person is sick without having a degree of being a doctor. The same thing, don't teach Zumba classes if you're not trained under Zumba.com. So we have education specialists around the world. Even though, let's say some of people from India say that, hey, you know what, I'm mesmerized by people in New York. You can still go online to a New York ZES and become a licensed Zumba instructor. So Zumba tells you attend any training on Zumba.com and you still get the license to teach. So, yeah.
Awesome. I'm sure many of the questions of the audience are answered by this question.
Thank you.
And what are your key takeaways being in the career of Zumba?
Wow. So I think one of the most important thing that has helped me being a Zumba instructor and an education specialist, which is very close to my heart, is financial independence. What happened with me is, after delivering my girl, as a mom, I took a 5 year off. I decided I want to spend time with her. I've always been very, I would say, prospective woman. I wanted to work, not only to earn money, but, to fulfill the purpose of my life. I live with a purpose and, to serve people makes me happy. So financial independence, being a Zumba instructor, Algira, it could be a part-time, it could be a full-time, but being a Zumba instructor, we all start becoming financially independent. The money is good into this field if we, stay more patient. And also, I think making people happy. It's like what Mother Teresa used to say, that the more you serve and make everybody happy, I guess there's more happiness in your life. So I guess financial independence and fulfilling the purpose of my life has been my biggest takeaway being a education specialist and Zumba instructor.
Brilliant. I think you, by doing this job, has touched many lives, and a lot of people have inspired by you. And I could see that in your work, and I did go through your Instagram profile as well. I could see that a lot of people's lives that you have changed drastically. So all the best to you. And any key message would you like to give to our audience today before we could wrap up?
Wonderful. I think the only thing I believe, and that's what I would tell everybody, which has helped me to be where I am, the most important thing is follow your heart. That is the topmost thing. Even though the world doesn't support you, and if you feel like doing something on your own, just do it. Just experiment it. Even though you fail and your heart says that this is the right path to follow, just be on that path. And second, and the very important thing is trust yourself. Trust yourself and trust, I wouldn't say nobody, but the first thing is to only trust yourself. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. I would like to give a shout out to all our audience. Thank you for staying in tune till now. If you have any doubts, you can mention it in the comments and we will try our best to address all of those. And I will leave the links of Shweta Kulkarni in our video so that you can connect with her directly and join and start Zumba.
Thank you. Algira, you're going to be my first client after this meet today.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you so much, Shweta. Thank you so much for being here. It was really, really nice and really energetic to have you here.
My pleasure.
Thank you.